today. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what brings you in today?
Well, I think I've just been having a lot of anxiety lately, and I think it's a lot of stress related. So I'm not quite sure how to balance everything because I've decided to go back to school, so that's something new in the mix. Plus, I'm a single mom, and work is crazy, so it's just trying to find that balance between everything without stressing myself out because I like to eat a lot when I get stressed. So that's not healthy either. So I'm just not quite sure how to relieve some of that stress or take away some of that at this point. And I'm kind of struggling with that because the only thing I found right now is I like chips. Chips and candy seem to help out a lot right now, and obviously that's not a good thing. But when it comes to writing a paper, eating chips helps me concentrate and write the paper. So dealing with stuff at home. If my daughter's not listening or following directions, okay, there's always a candy bar laying around somewhere, so it gets my mind off of that, and then I'll go back and deal with whatever's going on. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
So I'm hearing a lot of basically you're trying to find a balance. You've got all these things going on. You're trying to find a balance, a way to balance it all that doesn't necessarily include, you know, candy bars and chips. Maybe like more health, um, more I guess for lack of a better word, more healthy outputs. But you're kind of feeling overwhelmed.
Right. Yeah. So I have tried the carrots and celery. That just didn't have the same effect.
It's just yeah, it's not the same.
It's not.
It is not the same. So, hmm. So what kind of things do you think might be like driving this maybe need to associate like food with stress kind of thing?
I don't. Probably stem all the way back to childhood. I'm guessing, just because at home, well, growing up, I remember turning to food when things got tough, when things got where I out of control, where I felt they were out of control, because I always had to be, the perfect child, the straight A student, and so, but I'm also one of those people that takes on more stuff than she probably should, and I should probably, not take on as much, but for some reason I can't stop doing that.
Right.
So I think, probably goes all the way back to that, and I kind of, family gatherings when we all get together in the happy times, food's always there, and it's not always the healthiest food, so food's just kind of been the comfort. What do you turn to?
So it's like a self-soothing kind of thing, almost, or
Probably,
yeah.
yeah. hmm I'm just looking for something, I don't know, that might be a little bit more healthier, but still might help some of that stress go down so I can concentrate and get stuff done that needs to get done.
Well, if you look at your life, kind of like from a behind-the-scenes perspective, like what do you think is your biggest source of stress right now?
My child.
Your child, yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
can understand that.
Yeah, she's 8 going on like 18, so
Right.
yeah.
Right.
hmm
So do you feel like if you could possibly get a handle on that, as difficult as that is,
hmm
maybe that would alleviate a lot of the stress, and you could maybe open yourself up to new alternatives, or is that one of those easier said than done things?
Sure, I wouldn't have no clue how to start that one
Right.
because she seems to have like her days where she's right on time or right on target, and we don't have any issues at all. And then the other day she just starts crying for no reason. I'm like, I don't get it. It's
Right.
the ups and down, the emotional ups and down, and sometimes I never know quite sure what to expect. And I know she gets tired too, and I know that's part of it too. So I try to keep that in my mind. She's tired. That's why she's acting like this. But then sometimes it gets to the point where just stop crying. Really, is it really necessary to cry?
Right.
And then yeah, my anger then comes out too, and then when I get mad, then I'll go, you know, down the kitchen, raid the cupboards.
Mm-hmm. So I'm hearing a lot of, you're feeling very conflicted because you're trying to understand, but at the same time, trying to maybe see it through her eyes and your eyes. It's causing stress and anxiety. It's causing you to do things that you probably would not normally do, but because you've got this anxiety, you just gotta get it out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You had mentioned that you're a single mom. Do you have like a support network, like people that you can go to, like when you just can't take it anymore, because I think we've all been there, especially with younger children. Like, do you have people you can go to and just be like, look, this is what's happening. Can you just take her for like 5 minutes so I can go for a walk or whatever? Like, do you have someone that you can basically turn to? I guess is my question.
Not here, technically, I guess, because if I'm not, I'm with her unless I'm at work or at school. But I mean, I have friends that will watch her, babysit her for me. But a lot of them, they don't have kids, so they don't necessarily understand exactly where I'm coming from. Because when they're with her, she's fine.
Right.
She doesn't act up like that because she only acts up I feel she only acts up for me.
Right.
And not for them. I do live with my sister, so she watches her also, and she doesn't seem to act up with her either as much as she does with me. But I guess in a roundabout way, your question, no, not necessarily. Because I call my mom, but
Right.
she's 900 miles away, so that doesn't,
Right.
I've tried single parenting groups in the past. And it just seems like they're so big that it's hard to really connect with other parents in there because there's so many of them, and I find it hard to like go up and just meet new people easily.
Right.
So it's hard to form a lasting relationship with them and stuff. So that hasn't really seemed to work for me. So I'm not quite sure where else to go.
So you're feeling kind of alone and isolated, like, because she doesn't act up with other people, only with you.
Seemed like it, yeah.
So you get that sense of isolation. I understand that all too well. Like, it's the way I feel like my kids are too, which I guess roundabout way is kind of what you would want. Like, you wouldn't want them to go to somebody else's house and act up, but at the same time,
right,
you'd want that same respect to show at Johnny's house.
Right. And I have talked to some of the parents at school or whatever that I do know that we don't see each other all the time, but we have connected and stuff, and their kids do the same thing to them too. And so I'm like, oh, okay, well, your kid does that, my kids do it, I guess we're okay.
Right.
It's not something out of the ordinary. Do I need to take her to therapy type thing? But still, keep I guess in the back of my mind, still wonder, am I doing? Because I work at the jail, so my ultimate fear is that that's where she, will end up in jail, and I'll be one of those parents coming visiting their child in jail. So maybe I'm more hard on her than I should be because of that, but because I see parents come visit their kids in jail all the time, and these are good kids, but made bad decisions or got into drugs or alcohol. So I'm like, that stresses me out that she might do that. And so I guess I don't know if I just hold her at a higher standard, hold myself as a parent as a higher standard, but I think some of that's conflicting or the issues in there and stuff too. So
parents, I think, have just a tendency to hold themselves to a higher standard no matter what. Because I think we're always comparing ourselves to the Joneses or the Smiths. And, oh, look at their little boy or little girl, and they're doing this. And where are we going wrong? When in reality, they're probably doing the same thing. Like, oh, look at Diane, look at Diane Star, look what she can do. Like, how come my kid can't do that?
Right.
So I think it's always one big vicious cycle. And if we could just step outside of ourselves and the cycle, like, you know what? I am doing a good job. Like, look at all the positive things that my child can do. These are the things that I should hold on to. These are also the things that are hard to see when you're pulling your hair out because your kid's bouncing off the walls.
Right.
So, do you think that if you could focus more on like the positive aspects, it would bring down your stress level? Or do you think at this point you've just got too many things going on to see, maybe like these small little random acts?
Right. No, I think I need to see more of them. I need to think if I did see more of the positives, my stress level would go down, like you were saying. So, if I could, I don't know if it's blinders or what it is, but just look at what's going well and tell her that too. I mean, I try to tell her that, but to tell her more, I'm proud of her for doing this or that and that type of stuff. I think that would help probably both our stress levels go down at that point. So
I like how you use that word blinders, actually, because I think that's exactly what it is. I think that we become so focused on one aspect of our kids' behavior, whether it's good or bad, that we ignore and we're blind to everything else. So I think, yeah, maybe if you did try to like, hey, Cassie, good job on, because you mentioned before that she's really artistic, so maybe you compliment her paintings or her drawings a little bit more, or I don't know if you do or not, but like maybe display them someplace, so that she can see that you're actually proud of her or whatever. But kids are tricky.
That they are.
And they definitely don't do much for your stress level, especially when you've got all these other things on top of it. But baby steps towards the goal, I guess, is what they say. So. Well, if you're comfortable, stop here. And if you just want to work on maybe just recognizing the smaller things, appreciating the smaller things, maybe the bigger things might not seem so big. That makes sense?
Yes. Start out with starting out with the positives too,
right.
And looking at that stuff and not focusing so much on the negative part of it. That would help the stress level go down.
Sounds like you got a good grasp on it, so.
Can't guarantee it, but we'll try.
We will see what happens.
Yes.
And that's all we can do.
Yes. Okay.